Hi guys, Dragon Arthur here doing Burning Abyss deck profile update at least. And I think I'll give you a bit of a rundown. I just got back from regionals, which I was pretty happy with. A bit upset I didn't do better, but in that saying that, it's not like I did bad or anything. I'll give you a bit of a rundown of how I went to the regionals afterwards. Unfortunately, I didn't top, but I did really well, I must admit. I haven't been to many regionals yet. Just haven't had the time to go to them, honestly. But yeah, I'll get into that after the deck profile. So, and I'll go over a few things I just want to change. Again, down below the video if you just want the deck list, and then I'll get into it, and then I might link later to when I finish my rant. Anyway, through Graph, through Sir, ooh, we'll zoom in a little bit, oh, that's better, through Scum, through Farfa. I was happy with all of them today, except Farfa against Cliff Orts, which I took two of them out because they're useless. Two Barber, two Rubik, two Kagnar, and two Alec. Again, I was very happy with all of them at 2. Kagnar was the only one I was thinking of at 3, but then again, yeah, I don't know. And last off, one Libic, one Calcab, and one Dragkeeg. Dragkeeg's next to useless. Libic was, it would have came in handy a couple of times, but there were better options. And Calcab came in handy at times, but yeah, I probably wouldn't run that at 2 either. They're all good at 1. Dragkeeg's just an extra name, otherwise he's useless. Other monsters, obviously there's a tour guide in the BLS, and the biggest change I made was I now main triple Ghost Ogre, and I took out the Effect Failers entirely, just for this build. Every time I had Ghost Ogre, except for one time, I was really happy with that. In fact, starting with Ghost Ogre made me really happy, except in the BA matchup, which was the oddest one, because in the BA matchup, the second game I had, when I got Dante Pilgrim out first turn because he started with Majesty's Fiend, I managed to top deck Ghost Ogre 3 turns in a row. I don't know how I managed that. And that's whilst I had out Dante Pilgrim. So that was a bit weird. But Ghost Ogre was absolutely excellent in this deck. I didn't verse Shadows at all. I was really disappointed with that. Otherwise, yeah, it was just really good. MVP for the day, triple terminus. Yeah, surprisingly MVP. People were really surprised about that and how well it ran and what I did. And they were like, wow, was not expecting that. Double Galaxy Cyclone, one Foolish, one Raigeki. I'm so glad I put that in. And one Beginning the End. I managed to get the ulti too. I was happy with that. Yeah, that's definitely much better having the Raigeki in there. I'd even consider running the double Dark Hole, but I don't know. My deck probably should run it, honestly. Traps, I have a triple Traveler because it's broken as fuck. Double Fire Lake. I'm going to go into that later. And double Breakthrough Skill. Extra deck. The same as it's always been. Double Dante, double Virgil, double Dante Pilgrim. Dante Pilgrim, when I got him out, he MVP'd as well. Holy shit. People did not see that coming. Triple Downed. One Alucard, one number 30 Acid Golem, one number 47 Nightmare Shark, one Leviathan Sea Dragon, and one equipped Engineer. Again, people have asked me in the past, why do I not run Brilliant? Honestly, I've never had a situation where Brilliant would actually help me win a game. A little bit more likely at the moment just because of the 70 monsters being 2800 attack. But yeah, not really, honestly. And sideboard. This would be the quickest deck profile I've actually done. Sideboard was really odd. Two Black Hornet Heavens. Torrential Tribute's inside now. And obviously I got the Skill Drain and the Vanities. And I ran one Breakthrough Skill inside as well to make it 3. That I've started in a few times, and I saw it once that I started it in, but I couldn't use it. And again, I'll get into that later. But again, I was pretty happy with my sides today. Some of them I didn't use because I didn't get the matchups they were there for, but yeah. 2 Max C, 3 Flying C. Again, I only had one BA mirror match, which was really surprising. And I was kind of upset. I wanted more BA mirror matches because it's almost an instant win with Dante Pilgrim. But yeah, Max C and Flying C would have been really much better if I actually got matchups where I could have used it. Matches where I could have used them. And finally, 2 Imperial Iron Wall, which two's a good number for that, and 2 Anti-Spell Fragrances, which I really wish so much I had 3. I had a 3rd secret one. I'm actually really glad that I spent the money on these that I did. It's just back. I don't know if you guys realize, I'm in Australia. I can't talk now, I'm sorry. I'm in Australia. And in Australia, we play by Euro rules. And with Euro rules and Euro cards, we don't really have outs to towers in BAs, except for Dante Pilgrim and Terminus. We don't have Diamond Crab. Told you I can't talk. We don't have Diamond Crab King. We don't have Jurighetto. We don't have a lot of the things that we need to stop towers. So Turbo Towers is actually a rampant deck here, and Stellar Knights are also pretty rampant over here as well. I didn't actually burst any today. I think a lot of people have given up on the deck if they do run it. I think Stellar Knights topped as well. But yeah, anti-spell actually is very relevant over here. And I would like to have a 3rd, but I don't have that yet. I might see if I can get one soon. Anyway, matchups. This is where it's going to start taking a while. I'm surprised I actually got a deck profile done that quickly. Okay, before I do matchups, good and bad cards. What else? Good and bad. I think I'll just get the cards which are most important for me to talk about. Yeah, I'll go over this as well. There's no good and evil, unfortunately. Well, fortunately, actually. But yeah. Alright. Okay, I don't know where I'm going to start. Okay, this card. Absolutely excellent card, beginning to end. But I found once or twice I opened with it and I couldn't do anything. I think there was one game I had against BAs, which I first turned beginning to end, because I managed to get all 3 Skarms in the grave and 2 Graphs or something. I got all 3 Graphs and all 3 Skarms out in the first turn. I was just like, shit. But it meant I could make use of them with beginning to end. And had a full field. I would have won first turn in that game as well, had I managed to draw. I had 2 cards ready to use Terminus, but I didn't actually draw a Burning Abyss off the beginning and the end when I drew 3 cards. I drew like Max C, Ghost, Ogre, Flying C. Legit, that's actually what I drew. I drew Max C, Ghost, Ogre, Flying C, and I'm just sitting there going, it's not good. I must say though, it's so much better than running Allure of Darkness. But yeah, problem is that it can brick early. Terminus, it can brick if you have 2 in your opening hand. Other than that, this card was fantastic in every single matchup that I had. A big problem, a really big problem that Burning Abyss has is that if your opponent has like a non-targetable monster with more than 2500 attack, like Yazi or one that isn't affected by your monster's effects, again like Yazi, Tribute Summon Stealth, Pop Clifford Towers, Forerunner as well. It was one that I had a bit of problem getting over and getting past. And if you can't like Dark Hole or Raigeki or Trench Tribute, you might have a really hard time with Burning Abyss against them. And that's what I found. I found I did actually have a really hard time against those cards. And I was really happy when I had Terminuses in the grave in order to get past it. Unfortunately, I think one of my matchups against, which is why I drew, one of my matchups when I was going to get rid of my opponent's Forerunner and win the game, I think he finish chained my Barber, which I used 2 Terminuses on. And that is one big problem about Terminus, is the fact that once they're all gone from your grave, you've run out of Terminuses, and they're so good to have in your grave. People ask me all the time, why would I run 3 and not 2? Because I kind of want 1 in hand and 2 in grave in first turn. Like, once I do that, I'm kind of set and can deal with shit, even off a normal summon. Another really big problem I found was Majesty's Fiends and Vanity's Fiends in the mirror match, and a few other people that actually ran that. Even Clifford's I found ran it, and it was really annoying to deal with. Sorry. They're really hard to deal with when you can't special summon and you can't, or your monster effects cannot be activated. That really is really hard to deal with. But if you have a Barber or a Sir and a Terminus in grave, if you normal summon out Barber, banish Terminus, he becomes 2/5 until the end of your opponent's turn. That is easily enough for you to beat over beat into with Sir, into or over a Vanity's Fiend or a Majesty's Fiend. And that is something that actually happened quite a lot today. Like when I couldn't use an Alec or a Farfa, that really helped me having the Terminus. I think in one of my matchups, in game 2, he went into Majesty's Fiend, and then I just couldn't do anything. I managed to Terminus, so he took the Majesty's Fiends out and put Vanity's Fiends in instead. I Terminused, I sent 3, I lost half my stuff, but I beat over his Majesty's Fiend after that, so that was good. But until I did that, I wasn't able to actually get past anything that he had. Dante Pilgrim really helped there. And Terminus, again, would have just been a big help if I could have done something. And he kept, in the game with the Majesty's Fiend, the Vanity's Fiend, in the game 3, he kept mind crushing my Farfas. So he knew what I had in my hand, and he got rid of my Farfas. I was just like, oh, I can't do anything. So that was really, really not fun to deal with. Yeah. So having Terminus really helped me to get rid of those problem cards. Sorry if it's not the most organized video, but I'm trying to remember things off the top of my head. Fire Lake. Okay, Fire Lake. Fire Lake was a reason why I had a lot of problems. In the times that I didn't want it, and I actually cited one of them out, especially when I was going second, I managed to get it. And I'm like, I don't want this card, I want something else. Maybe you want this later, or I want, And the times that I did want it, I really wanted to run it 3 at some point, especially against a Clifford matchup, which is really bad for me. I don't know if all VAs are like that, but yeah. Especially when she started, she managed to have, like, Vanity's Emptiness and, like, 2 lose 1 turns both times. I was really, really unfortunate with that. I didn't have the Fire Lakes to deal with her stuff, so I really lost out not having that. It's a real bummer card because you kind of want it at 3, but you kind of only want to use it once sometimes. I run it too, but I'm considering the third in sideboard, and a lot of times I'd side one out anyway. But there are some matchups, especially if I'm going first, that it's just like you have Fire Lake, you win. You start against Cliff Lords, you have Fire Lake, you win. Like I'll win the next turn. Same with Stellars. If I go first and I have Fire Lake, I'll win. And yeah. But I found a lot of times that when I did have it, it's not when I wanted it. Happened a couple of times with Ghost Ogre as well. Like I said, my second match against BAs, second game against the one BA guy I played, I had Dante Pilgrim and then top deck Ghost Ogre for three turns in a row, and I was just like, ugh. Otherwise, absolutely fantastic. Did its job against Scouts. I didn't verse any Dolls, so I was a bit upset about that. Would have still done its job against Constructs, which is the biggest problem I find in the shit-all matchup. I even managed to pull it off against the Trishula at one point in time when I actually had it in my hand. It was my last card. And my opponent was like, that doesn't negate its effects. I'm like, yeah, but I've got no cards in hand. And it's like, oh, shit. Yeah, Ghost Ogre was absolutely fantastic. And again, it was really good to have it so that I could, bring out BLS, which I managed to mill a few times, unfortunately. Alec was also absolutely excellent to have, especially with Dante Pilgrim. I didn't get to pull this off because I got absolutely wrecked against the second Necros player I played against. He was a fantastic player. I'm like, oh, I just want to get this combo off, and I didn't get that off. And he was like, oh, what was this combo? I'm like, oh, the combo is basically when you know your opponent's going to go into Trishula, which is usually when they play Necros Mirror, you just ditch Alec off Dante Pilgrim's effect, and then by how the way turn player chains work, turn player optional, then opponent's optional. If they bring out Trishula's effect will go on Chain Link 1, then Alec's effect will go on Chain Link 2. And of course you'd have a card that you drew, so you'd negate Trishula's effect, and then Trishula can't beat over Dante Pilgrim, and they can't bounce Dante Pilgrim. In fact, the only thing they can really do is have Unicore out to stop, to deal with it. And so it's really good. And the last card was... Oh yeah, and there was several times which I actually used the Farfa effect off Dante Pilgrim when I actually had Dante Pilgrim out. And people weren't very happy with that. That usually sealed games. As soon as I got Dante Pilgrim out, that was like game over, I win. Galaxy Cyclone. Yeah, absolutely excellent card. I really hate the fact that I can only banish one per turn from the grave. It's a real bummer, to be honest. I think the only problem that I ever had with Galaxy Cyclone was either when I came up against Necros and they didn't have any back row, or when I couldn't get it in the grave and I really wanted it. I think there's one game I would have won if I had Galaxy Cyclone in the grave, but I didn't. So, anyway, there's some of the more important cards now. The matchups. How did they go? Jeez, I've got 18 minutes already. Match one was against. Let's have this out. Anyway, game one was against Cosmo, Traptrix Cosmo. That was a really, really interesting game. He started. I went first, but I had a pretty shitty start, and then he Raigeki'd and I lost everything. I was like, well, that's shit. And then, if I had Travel, I would have been a lot better off. And then he started with Traptrix, and I'm like, oh, he's just playing Traptrix, that's fine. And then he had 3 back row. He searched Bottomless. So he had Bottomless, Void Trap Hole, and something else. Like turn 1 set. I'm like, oh, I don't have much in hand. I went for BLS, and he's like, oh, okay, Void Trap Hole. I'm like, shit. And then I couldn't really deal with much of his stuff. I had to kind of work around that the whole time because I just didn't have those extended plays after the first turn when he got rid of everything. And that was something I found a lot, actually. A lot of the times, I think almost every single match, my opponents opened up with a Raigeki or something. And it was just like, shit, man. Yeah, he started with the Traptrix, and that game, really dragged out. I was going to go for the win. He had Cosmo Town out. He used Cosmo Town's effect and added his banished Farm Girl back after he had one card in hand after he top decked it. That's all he had. He had Cosmo town on field, and he had Farm Girl, which he added back, plus the one card he drew into that turn. Normal summon Farm Girl, passed to me. I'm like, sure, what's the chances? You know, his 2 in 30 chances that he's got Honest in his hand. I doubt it. I'm like, he's probably bluffing. I'll just go for this. Nah, dropped Honest. I'm like, fuck me. That game from there on in was a bit of an uphill battle because you just got out Forerunners, and Forerunners are really hard for this deck to get past because normally you banish something with Farfa then beat over it. And even the non-turbo build, the one with all the traps, you know, they need a target to do something. So Cosmo Forerunner is a big problem for BAs. Dante Pilgrim would have helped me, but I really didn't get him out. I was just unfortunate I didn't get him out. But the Terminus has helped me a lot just to beat over the Forerunner. That game went on for 35 minutes, and then the second game, I was like, yeah, nah, I can't do this. I had like 3 cards left on my main deck, and I was down too much life. The second game, I just absolutely smacked him, but unfortunately that was in time, so I didn't get to go on game 3, so the first round was a draw. Second round doesn't really exist because my opponent was playing zombies, like a fun deck zombies, so that was instant win. Third round was against Cosmo again, actually. I think, yeah, he bricked really hard. The first and third games. Like the first game, I didn't even know what he was running because he didn't show me. He didn't want to dig through his deck to do something. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'll just take this game 1. Game 2, I'm like, I reckon he's either running Necros because he played Upstart, or he's running Cosmo because he didn't go anywhere. More likely he's running Cosmo. So let's chuck in Imperial Iron Walls. I didn't see them either. I'm like, yeah, so let's chuck in Imperial Iron Walls. And that game was a bit of a drag, and he just managed to get really, really good top decks. Like he went Raigeki into all this other stuff. And I managed to get him down to 100 life. Or I had the chance to get him down to 100 life. He had 1,000 life points left, and I could have barbered him for 900. I'd already used up my Nightmare Shark, but the thing is, like, that was when that's when he finished chained my barber when I went to beat over his Forerunner, and then would have proceeded to win the game. He finished chained my 3-3 barber. I was a bit upset with that. I would have won the game had he not done that too. Yeah, I went to win game there and I just couldn't. And then from there on in, his 1,000 life gain just outdid the burn that my barber was putting out. Like my barber was doing 900, he was getting 1,000. He had 1,000 life left. I would have left him on, 100, but it just wasn't going to happen this time around. Unfortunately, I was pretty upset with that. If I could have went into an Acid Golem and had that attack directly from Nightmare Shark's effect, it would have been great, but I just didn't get that chance either. So that was unfortunate. What else? And then game 3, I think he bricked again. He didn't do so great. He had a lot of back row, but I just smashed him. It was shit because game 1, like I fire-laked him and got rid of Solemn Warning, Vanity's Emptiness, and Limiter Removal, but he still managed to come back. But yeah. Anyway, I won that at least. So that makes me 201. And then the next game was against Necros. The first round against Necros went forever. It was another 35-minute game. I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm going to time and round every single time. I managed to win game 1. I think I just burned him too much and just managed to attack through. I think he didn't know too well what he was doing against BAs. He kept going to Volcrus to stop my attacks, but I was just like, yeah, it doesn't matter. I've still got ways to attack through it. You know, I've got 43 card main deck. I can still Dante Mill every single turn, and that's just what it was. I was just, down it and Dante Mill. I think he probably could have done a lot better and won that, but yeah. And then again, there was like a minute or a minute and a half before time, so I'm like, you know what, I'll just give this guy his game. It's not fair for me to not do it at regionals just because I want the win. And he was a nice guy anyway. So we went into the game 2 just before time started. Honestly, he just wrecked me. I had the best opening hand if I was going first. I had Fire Lakes, I had Travelers, I had Sir, Graf, Barber. I can't remember what I top decked. But I went second, and then I'm like, Special at Barber. I'm like, maybe I should keep this because he's probably going to go Denko. I'm like, nah, that's fine. Special at Barber, normal Graf. He had one back row. It was Book of Moon. He Book of Moon my Graf and my Barber went. And then I'm like, sure, set 3 back row. I topped a Foolish Burial. So I had Foolish Burial, Fire Lake, and Traveler. And then what does he do? He normal summons Denko Sekka, which is why I was running Force backs. But yeah, I didn't get to see them. I took them out. He normal summoned Denko Sekka, went into Abyss Dweller, and just absolutely wrecked me from there on in. I'm like, yeah, well, that's going to happen. So that was the second draw I got. So I was 202 at that time. Then I went to the mirror match against BAs, and it was very much, I said, BA mirror match, yeah, I'm probably going to win this. I've got a secret weapon. Being this. Again, BAs don't really have that ability to beat past something that's untargetable and over 2600 attack, especially when you don't have terminus, or even get rid of it, to be honest, without, Fire Lake, Acid Golem, or not Fire Lake, Dark Hole, Raigeki, or Acid Golem, or terminus. So basically, the first round was I brought out Dante Pilgrim. He couldn't do anything. Second round was a real big, long, drawn out game where I brought out Dante Pilgrim again, and because he had Majesty's Fiend out, and I just top decked Ghost Ogres, which were useless against him, so I started one out, and I still managed to get 2 on my third game. Game 3, it was another big, long, drawn out game where he had Vanity's Fiend instead this time, and it was just him mind crushing my Farfars, and he was in my hand. I just couldn't do anything. Eventually, I managed to get another Foolish Burial top deck. So I'm like, Farfar to the grave, do all this shit, bang, attack the game, and yeah, that was it. I had like a massive board after that because I had like 7 or 8 cards in hand. So that's 302. The next round, the 6th round out of 7th, was against Necros. There's not much to say about this guy. This guy is an absolutely excellent player. I played against him in one of the previous regionals where I beat him when I was playing Noble Knights against his Burning Abyss. He was playing Necros this time. I knew he would be. And literally all it was first game. I had no back row. I had like 2 Dantes out. He just goes, oh yeah, Manju, Unicorn, Dweller, Brio, Trish game. I'm just like, holy shit. And then the second game, I'm like, oh, well, at least I've got Foolish Burial as a bait, and I've got a Breakthrough skill. I shouldn't be too bad. Not Dance Princess. This time around, I'm like, and proceeded to do the exact same thing, with the exception that he didn't go into Abyss Dweller this time, but the Trish wrecked me, and he literally FTK'd me 2 games in a row. I'm just like, honestly, there's not a lot I'm going to do, especially when you start with Dance Princess, and I just don't have any ways to deal with that shit. So that was a 6th round loss, so 3-1-2. And then last round was against another girl. Her boyfriend won this regionals, and he's won another one of the regionals too. I think the last one I went to, he won as well, so he's run 2 in a row. He's really good. They're both really good players, and really nice people. That was against Clifforts, and it was literally, I didn't get a Fire Lake or anything to deal with half her shit, and it was just Vanity's Emptiness into lose 1 turn. I'm like, why is lose 1 turn still at 3? Please just put it back to 1. It's at its reprint. Do it. Put it to 1. Oh no, it hasn't at its reprint. Doesn't matter. Put it to 1. I've got the Galaxy Cyclones in the grave, but honestly, it just was not enough to deal with that back row. And the biggest problem about Cleese here is like they get back row, and then they just pendulum for 5 and go into towers, and you can't do anything about it. But yeah, so that was my deck profile and another 20 odd minutes of explaining how everything went. In the end, I was really happy with Terminus. I think it was probably one of the best cards I had all day. Don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe. I'm sorry, I've run out of time. I can make this 30 minutes long. And yeah, try this out. It's actually pretty good. So, Dragon Arthur out.